Hello and welcome to today's VOD review. So we are going to look at the opening match for NA VCT group stage, which is 100 Thieves versus the Guard. The Guard won stage 1 of NA Challengers, qualifying for Iceland by beating out Optic, the eventual Masters champions. Unfortunately, the Guard stumbled a bit in Iceland itself and went 0-2, but they ended up losing to Optic again and Paper Rex, who were both top 4 finishers. All this to say that the Guard are absolutely international contenders and got there through solid team play and fundamentals rather than individual skill. On the other hand, the new 100 Thieves roster has been together for less than a month, but they managed to take this series in 2-0 fashion through some honestly beautiful team play. You may have figured out by now that I'm a little bit of a 100 Thieves fan, but honestly, this series was too cool to not take a look. So let's get started. In round 1, the Guard go for a tree push where they use smoke, raise nade, and stun in order to cut off any players pushing up into tree. The initial play works out extremely well and they get 2 kills on both Asuna and Stellar. Bang swings out and is able to get 1 but gets traded out instantly, leaving it in a 2v4. From here, Net and Saya player are playing passive on A site, while Valen and Trent are holding aggressively at tree, knowing that they have bomb. Derek and Will very slowly isolate some fights towards Valen and Trent. Swing together to get Valen, as well as Trent, leaving it in a 2v2. Saya player and Net rotate through spawn towards B site, and Derek and Will both go into them. After a stun through Canteen, they push across. Will finds the 1-tap, but then Net is able to trade out after Derek sprays his whole clip missing. Net mollies, turns away, but Will pushes through the molly and catches Net off guard after a reload. Because of Fracture's setup, Guard was unable to know where exactly the remaining 200 Thieves players were. The 2 remaining players are either in A main, which 100 Thieves pressured early in the round, or on bridge side and could be either dish or through to B site. Because of all of these options, Guard was left in this position where they worried about too many things and gave up any man advantage they had. In round 2, 100 Thieves isolates the A side of the map by placing these trips. They then go for a full execute while Guard has gamble stacked the other site. You can see that they blast pack out of dish, nade spawn, and slow on site in order to get out. From here, it's a 5v5 retake with worse guns, which 100 Thieves just wins out.
But when the players on 100 Thieves just containing them, Spectres, nice little stun across. Here we go. It's getting a little bit dangerous as 2 of the players will fall. Side player will see if he can hit a shot. Not quite. Classic right click in play, and that is a free gun, by the way.
For 100 Thieves' bonus round on round 3, they use the same trips to isolate the A side of the map. This round, the Guard contests Arcade, using a smoke to take the orb and then fall back. However, the chamber traps remain unbroken, so 100 Thieves has no flank pressure at all. 100 Thieves takes dish control, takes a main control, and pushes up. Saya player tries to go for a kill, but gets forced off at 18 HP. From here, Guard has 4 players in spawn, with Trent solo holding any B rotation, but 100 Thieves is just executing A, and they blast pack out, spam the smokes, wall the spawn, and have full site control. You can see that they're simultaneously sandwiching sand players from site as well as from A main. And after getting 3 kills, the Guard are forced to save. The Guard's early game plan appears to be taking control of either Arcade or Tree with this 3-man stack on B, using a single smoke from Valen as well as a raise nade in order to secure an orb. However, they then fall back to site after getting that orb in this round and leave the chamber trips of 100 Thieves unbroken. They're then trying to retake all through spawn, while 100 Thieves has full control of site. When you're only trying to flood out of these two locations, and you have pressure coming in through door, as well as from dish, and there's players anchoring on site as well, the retake's gonna be extremely difficult. We see a lot of teams like Fnatic prioritizing maintaining control of sand, for example, with Cypher utility, or maintaining control of either dish or a main, because without control of one of these areas, the retake's gonna be extremely difficult. In round 4, 100 Thieves uses this slow to prevent any B main push, and then contacts 3 players up through tree and into the tunnels. In the meantime, they still have their trip isolating any dish push, as well as Will holding a main, with a single smoke that he uses to push up and trap so that anyone coming out of door or pushing a main will get spotted. From here, 100 Thieves has now walked through tunnels and taken control of arcade side. Derek is going to go into the tunnels and then ult site with the smokes in order to secure the round. 100 Thieves is more than happy to use utility in order to take the site, even on an eco round. From here, I want to take a look particularly at 100 Thieves post-plant positioning. You can see that both Asuna and Stellar are holding in tower, while the other 3 players have gone towards B main. 100 Thieves uses a post-plant molly to start delaying the push, which buys time for the smoke to go down from net, and they get 3 kills from B main. Bang also used his ultimate in order to prevent any early tap on the spike, and from here the B main players are able to completely shut down the retake. 100 Thieves uses this plant spot over and over again on B site. Normally you could spam this from Gen, but 100 Thieves uses a wall to prevent any spam, allowing for the unique plant spot. This plant spot is very open to anyone playing from B main, has absolutely no cover, and this post-plant molly covers the plant entirely. In round 5, the guard is once again going for a 3-man push, this time towards dish. 100 Thieves has once again abandoned the north side of the map and is playing all 5 players towards the south side. They once again push up and place a trip in A main, but this time use the smoke on B main to prevent any AWP pressure. Saya doesn't know exactly what to do because of this smoke and gets caught out because of it. 100 Thieves take the site, quickly take tower with Asuna Blast packing in, and take arcade control. Bang was found on the way in by Valen, but we're left in a 4v4 retake where the guard has a breach ult for the retake. However, if you take a look at the positioning of 100T, they're once again preparing completely off of site. Valen smokes B main and tower, and they ult in with the blast pack, but the raise nade completely shuts down the push and finds 2 kills. The arcade players then swing, find net trying to reinforce, and the final grenade picks off Jonah P. For the retake, all 4 players of the guard are attempting to come through a single broken segment of this wall. They're using a breach ult, which is going to cover site, and trying to blast pack raise through with both Brimstone and Viper flooding through. These 2 players, I believe it's the breach and the Brimstone, get killed by this initial nade from Asuna, and Viper gets killed trying to swing through. One thing to note is that Valen used smokes on tower and B main, leaving arcade open for this long angle. You can see that 100 Thieves positioned for the post plant, anticipating this breach ult, and didn't play a single player inside or tower. Meanwhile, the guard didn't expect 100 Thieves to be set up like this and used all of their utility for players playing on site, and the smokes are not even anticipating this arcade hold. Even with this smoke, this retake would have been more possible because there wouldn't have been a sightline to know the exact timing to toss the nade or for net swing. Round 6 is an eco from guard, where their main tool to get anything done is this ult from Saya player, but both Derek and Will use alternating types of jiggle peeks as well as flashes to push him off the angle, and then eventually start their execute using the showstopper to execute onto site, creating a 5v3 without that chamber ult and securing the round. In round 7, the guard look on to hold on to arcade control using a Viper ult. However, 100 Thieves just quickly sends it through sand and then follows up through main to execute onto a site. Jonah P's ult shuts down Asuna, but then the main players come out and shut him down. Saya player is able to trade one, but gets traded immediately, and then Stellar's wall blocks off CT, and Stellar reses Asuna. Both teams trade spam through the smoke and go 1-for-1, but the res has left 100 Chi and a mana advantage in a 3v2. Net joins the retake pretty late as he was worried about a B lurk. Valen and Net try to work out, but this wall works as basically a one-way, and Asuna's jiggle from bottom site is able to distract long enough for Will to swing out and get the free kill, forcing Valen to save. Round 8 is another eco from guard. This time they force stack towards A main with one player solo holding B, and 100 Thieves runs right into the stack. They get 3 men stunned, unable to trade Asuna, and Valen gets one more but gets traded out on the way out. From here it's a 4v3, and 100 Thieves forces their way through sand while the smokes are still up. Ult site, walls spawn along with the aftershock, and then pushes through all 3 locations at once. Trades favor 100 Thieves, leaving it into a 2v2, 2v1, and finally the round. While this round was mostly just about gun advantage towards the end, the execute they used is pretty cool in that it cuts off any rotation through dish with this lineup. The Brim Molly prevents any reinforcement through dish, the Sage Wall prevents any reinforcement through CT, and finally, the only other location that allies can help the A players is by jumping out of rope, which is always going to be a bad fight to take. The only option left to the guard to reinforce their team is through tree and through spawn, which 100 Thieves would know about because of the trip. Round 9 starts with another tree push from guard with 2 players and the breach utility. Will gets the first pick but gets traded out instantly, and meanwhile Derek has ulted Asuna into the defender spawn. However, the guard are completely aware of this, and Asuna gets picked off, leaving 100 Thieves in a 3v4. This has pulled the B players off site, and the 100 Thieves is able to wall and smoke out and get the plant down on site. Valen tries to ult to deny the plant, but is unaware of the 100 Thieves plant spot, and Stellar is able to successfully plant. From here, Stellar moves up into tower while there's 2 players playing post plant from tree. This time though, Saya player is on the flank, and with Will dead, they have no trips to keep them aware. Saya finds the first pick before getting stunned off the angle and then killed by Derek. But Stellar swings without a trade, and Derek's left in a 1v2, which he unfortunately is unable to win.
Utility sent out Derek 1v2. Capable of winning these ones, we've seen it. It's planted for him, but no, Trent.
In round 10, 100 Thieves decides to slow it down slightly, having Asuna playing alone as map control on bridge side, while they quickly take control of A main with the typical hall smoke, as well as push into tunnel with Stellar and Bang. Meanwhile, guard has pushed Jonah P up into an aggressive opping position and finds the players coming through tunnel. He gets out, repositions to peek B main, and then goes up to tower and takes the rope full speed and gets picked off. From here, 100 Thieves pushes up, smokes off the usual spots, pushes through lane, gets to site, and starts planting. This time, however, Trent uses an aftershock which completely stops Bang from planting, and he's forced to try to plant out in the open, where he gets spammed before getting knocked off the plant with the breach ult. From here, Asana's touch spot on Jen finds 2, but Trent and Saya player go absolutely massive and win the 2v4. This round mostly came down to the positioning of 100 Thieves being for the post plant, but Bang was never actually even able to get the bomb down. Stellar was picked by Jonah P at the start of the round, and without the wall there, spam prevented any plants out in the open, while the aftershock and breach ult were also able to prevent the bomb from going down. Round 11 is yet another A round from 100 Thieves where they cut off any pushes from B side. This time there's a 2-man stack towards Dish that, facing some contact, falls off to A site pretty quickly. They recontest A main, walking in before flashing the corner and peeking with net. Jonah P simultaneously pushes through the door and finds the player hiding, but Derek gets a quick 2-piece before losing the fight against Trent. Asuna ults in from Dish, trades the kill, clears the area out for Stellar to find the res on Derek, and suddenly it's a 4v2. Stellar finds the pick on Saya player, pushing through door. This is just a solo play, by the way. And suddenly Valen's left in a 1v4, which he is unable to win. In the last round of the half, the guard is forced to buy up whatever they can. They force stack towards B site and use a stun and a smoke in order to secure the ultimate for Jonah P. 100 Thieves decides to just do yet another A hit, where they blast pack out of Dish, smoke, and use the breach ult on spawn in order to prevent anyone from coming in, walling off spawn as usual and getting the plant down. From here we have a 5v5 retake, where this time the guard actually has B main control. This makes the retake significantly easier than most of the other retakes we've seen this round, and Jonah P's ult is able to find the first. Unfortunately, Bang's ult completely shuts down the B main push, and with gun advantage, Asuna is able to get a huge 4K and close out the half 10-2. Hundred Thieves executes obviously are extremely drilled, as their coordination is nearly perfect as they come out on all of these executes. Hundred Thieves showed a very strong preference towards quick A hits, where they use trips on the flanks to make sure that they only have to worry about both CT and rope, and then use the wall as well as Brimstone Molly to cut off any reinforcements, looking to 5v2 or 5v3 any players that are holding on site. The guards started trying to adapt to this by sending players into B main eventually, but it took them a while to figure this out. The guards' general game plan was playing 3 players aggressively on one side of the map, while 2 players were playing more passively on the other side. For most of the half, the guards showed a real hesitation to push through and do anything off of their initial aggression. Instead, they would fall back and rotate through spawn, opting to retake together. Unfortunately, the way that 100 Thieves was structuring their takes and post plants, it pretty much required the guard to be retaking control of A main by pushing through tree. When 100 Thieves ended B, they almost always initially took control of A main with a single smoke, and then rotated off after placing an aggressive trip which prevented any push through door or A main. Off of the A main control, they would push players through tree, through tunnel, take arcade control, and then hit from both sides. On their B hit, they would wall off gen while pushing from both sides and looking to sandwich tower. Finally, in the post plant, they put a strong preference towards planting in an open spot that lets you play from B main, as well as having lineups for Brimstone, and holding players towards arcade to prevent any cross. 100 Thieves clearly looks at all of the ultimate status and then plans their post plant and take based on which ultimates they have as well as which ultimates the other team has. In particular, round 5 where they completely dodged Trent's retake ult was pretty impressive. The guard starts their attack half by utilizing the Fnatic lurk wall. This wall blocks off sight and allows you to lurk up through lane. After pushing up into lane, guard pushes 3 players up through tree and towards B main. 100 Thieves has been anchoring 2 players in tower. They've completely given up sight, but have pushed out of A main as well. The guard pushes onto sight and try to fight Bang without any utility. Bang gets the first 2 using right clicks, and then is able to find the third with just the normal left click. Will finds another with the shorty, and at this point it is a 5v1 and a hopeless situation for Jonah P. Trent dies with both an aftershock and a flash, but chooses to instead just swing into the angle. The guard forces up on round 14, not wanting to let 100T get to 12 rounds. 100T is using an aggressive A hold, where they use this boombot and stun to contest any players trying to push into halls. After the initial control, they fall back into cubby, door, and main, and the guard decides to contest it. Trent has his flash out, but side player actually just takes a nutty one tap that takes out Will. Derek flashes and tries to swing, but Trent was playing anti, and they get the kills. From here, it's a 5v2 that guard is able to clean up pretty easily. Round 15 is a full B execute from the guard. 100T is unable to put up any resistance because they have no guns. In round 16, 100 Thieves use a smoke and a slow to shut down any kind of arcade push. The guard chooses to pivot over towards Dish and 4-man push up while they have Saya player lurking towards A halls. Will is in vertical off angle that managed to barely dodge the breach stun. The guard execute, but Will's position is untradeable. Asana's nade also gets 1, although he gets picked off for throwing it. Trades come out 1 for 1 and it's a 3v2, but Net manages to sneak up behind Will and find the pick. From here we have a 2v2, but Net is stuck in sand and tries to cross over and gets picked off. Sai is left in a 2v1 with an operator, which is always going to be difficult, but Bang also has his ultimate. Stellar and Bang play in spawn, doubled up, and just wait for Sai to get bomb and plant. And with only 15 seconds left, this Brim ult just wins them the round. For round 17, the guard have almost the exact same game plan. They push 4 players into Dish, while Saya holds at halls. This time, though, they're waiting a little bit longer and slow walking up instead of going fast. 100T is doubting themselves and send Asana back towards B side as well. Once they've broken the trip, the guard decide to explode out with the Raze ult. They take control and smoke off main as well. Will and Saya player are stuck in this battle of patience in halls, and eventually Will gets worried and falls off the angle. Saya catches the timing and shoots him in the back. In addition, Jonah P pushes up through the smoke and catches Derek with his flash out. Meanwhile, Asuna has ulted out of rope and finds 2, and Stellar is able to clean up Jonah P in tower. This is now a 3v2 for 100 Thieves, and they have full control of site. Unfortunately, Saya hits 2 nasty shots, and even though Stellar is able to find net on drop, Saya is able to get the 4K to clean up the round. Round 18 is an eco from 100 Thieves. They're playing a default setup at the start of the round, with 3 towards A and 2 towards B, but they end up deciding to stack up after they get some information. The guard spends the early round taking control of the tunnel from bench side, utilizing their lurk wall as before, and holding 3 players in spawn. After some pressure towards B, 100 Thieves rotates all 3 of their A players because they have that weapon disadvantage. At the same time, the guards start taking control of halls. Unfortunately, there's no one even around here from 100 Thieves, and they just hold their stack. The guard decide to walk towards B, likely because they already had control towards arcade, but unfortunately they're falling into the trap. The guards systematically start pushing up. Valen throws down smokes, and Jonah P takes sight through lane. A breach ult goes into spawn, but a counter flash from Derek prevents any push. Will finds the first with the judge, but backs up into a molly that Valen threw into tower. Valen gets pushed by Asuna, who running guns him with the frenzy. He then picks up the Vandal and finds Jonah P, who pushes into the smoke. Asuna nades, forcing Trent out of the cubby, and both the Vandal and Stellar's Sheriff find Trent.
From claiming this round and claiming this map, the res for them. Maybe I spoke too soon, sire! 3 kills, but the time is so low. 3 HP. Has to get a plan. He whiffed it. Picked up the gun, not enough time. He tried to interact with
Guards' attack put much more focus on playing towards the northern side of the map. They like to hit A with 4 towards dish with chamber lurking halls, and they like to hit B after establishing arcade control first. Unfortunately, there were multiple times where guard didn't hit both sides at the same time, or didn't use utility where they needed to flush out players. Ultimately, Saya was starting to heat up, and things might have got scary for 100 Thieves if not for the huge advantage they had from the first half. Hundred Thieves has slightly altered their bind composition to switch Derek off of Sova and onto Sage. As I talked about in my last bind review, the goal of the defense is to maintain control of either B long, hookah, or showers in order to have an easier retake for once control is lost onto site. They are going to use the Sage wall in order to act as if there's a second player, creating an extremely difficult position to break through that you don't have to worry about. As you can see, Derek has used his wall on B long this first round and is playing on top of it. Saya breaks the wall, but then doesn't really want to contest it anymore and falls off. Meanwhile, Bang has rotated over towards Derek, but after not seeing any more pressure, Will starts rotating towards A site. Asuna has been playing in showers alone, with Stellar holding U-Haul control. The guard gears up for their A execute, and dog up short in order to take control. They don't put their wall up and instead immediately rush through to try to sandwich Asuna in showers. Asuna does an extremely heads up play and pushes the opposite side of showers and then ends up sandwiching the 3 players inside. And they're quickly cleaned up, leaving just Net in a 1v3.
E3 has to pull up and put up some huge numbers. Pulling out a utility, not enough for it, Stella.
I want to go through guard's strat because it's honestly pretty cool in its own right. But unfortunately, 100 Thieves did the perfect play to counter it. So what guard's plan is they put early pressure towards B, and this ends up holding these 2 players there. They then regroup towards A and have Saya player lurking outside showers, and then the other 4 are going to push up short. So Trent is going to use his Trailblazer, which goes up through short and clears front sight, at the same time as Valen, Jonah P, and Net all push through with a stim beacon to both speed up the dog and themselves. Now, instead of just securing site, what they end up doing is pushing all the way around, and they're looking to pinch anyone in showers, knowing that 100 Thieves want to take control. Asuna hears this push, and he pushes into showers, pushes through Stellar's wall, and finds the 1v1 to take out Saya player. Now this is absolutely huge because the guard has continued with their plan and pushed into showers, trying to find Asuna. However, because Saya lost this duel, now instead of having Asuna sandwiched, the 100 Thieves players are able to push through the smoke and create a 3v3 where the guard is now the ones that are sandwiched, while the 2B players are rotating. The guard did have a contingency plan in Trent here, looking to punish the players coming through the smoke, but he unfortunately also lost his duel. So it ends up going into an extremely favorable trade where we have, I believe it's this 3v1 left over, and Net is unable to find it. On round 2, the guard is on an eco and goes for a straight up showers push, but without any weapons, they're unable to get anything done and get shut down flawlessly. In round 3, the guard threatens B long, but is playing a slow default and again regroups towards A and runs into this doubled up stack with Spectres on A short, but they dog it and don't get caught off guard and clean up the round pretty easily. In round 4, the guard sets up short as usual, while Derek walls off showers to farm the orb and keep showers control. The guard go for a straight up A push, where they're going to put up the Viper utility, which forces Bang to contest them in front, solo. And he does get the first kill, but is instantly traded. Next, Saya pushes into the smoke and finds Will, but Derek trades from bench, and then pushes into shower, knowing that showers is still safe because of his wall. From here, the guard has 3 players on site, and they molly Derek off to ensure the plant. However, they don't have control of anywhere besides short, and they're forced to fall back from short besides Valen, who's left in pocket. Trent dogs into U in order to try to maintain control, but they aren't able to push in off the dog. With Derek's foothold from showers, 100T are able to push up, spot a player out at short, and Valen is able to find the first in pocket, but gets traded out, leaving a 2v2. From here, 100T assumes that they have complete showers control, and Asuna is just able to win this 1v2 on the players in short, finding 2 quick kills to allow Stellar to find the fuse. It is important to threaten plays like the one that Bang did, or walking up short through the Viper setup, because the Viper setup is only threatening if you actually prove that you're able to use it, right? If you don't show the ability to do a take off of just lurking up through the wall, then the other team's never gonna have to worry about it or try to counter it. This is pretty much the basis of conditioning. It is using an option, such as pushing up 5-manning through short, to threaten that option for the rest of the game, and because of that threat, you can do different things in future rounds. Hundred Thieves starts out round 5 by flashing B long and then ulting from Stellar. The flash prevents any early push or spam in order to get a clean ult up, preventing any access to B long. The guard immediately rotates off and starts exploring towards hookah, worried about any push. We can see that Bang has also started rotating through spawn while they flash hookah to make sure that there's no one there. From here, guard plays a pretty slow default, but they end up finding the advantage just by taking control of space. So the guard 3-man pushes into hookah, which forces out a smoke from Bang, which they're alternating with the Viper orb from Stellar. So the guard isn't looking to push off of this at all, but because they have control of hookah, now 100 Thieves is worrying more. Bang moves over towards a site, thinking that because of the Viper ult, they don't have to worry, while Asuna ults for info. All 3 Seekers go into hookah, which makes Bang rotate back towards B site, wearing the hits coming B. However, off of this, the guard has rotated over towards A and is getting ready for the hit. They put down their smokes. Jonah P and Valen entry into site. Molly off bench, and Valen finds the kill. Saya finds a lurk on B, and Trent shuts down Derek's swing. From here, it's a 5v2, which is pretty much unwinnable from 100 Thieves. I want to quickly take a look at the information game and how the guard controls it to win this round. So Asuna uses his dog out through the Viper's Pit to clear anyone that might be playing long, while Bang has hookah smoked off. They know that the guard have hookah control, but because there's no one towards Fountain, they think that it's going to be an A hit. Asuna pulps his ult in order to get more information. The 3 Seekers going towards hookah sells the idea that they might still end B. However, after breaking all 3 of the Seekers, guard immediately starts pivoting towards A. Trent even flashes out to sell the idea that they might be going B. The bait of the Seekers, as well as Trent's flash, sell that the B hit might be coming and force Bang to play towards B still. This leaves only Derek and Will on A, and Will has even given up control of showers, not wanting to take any risks. Saya's lurk in hookah, which they gain control of early, leads to a kill, and the site push is able to successfully 3v2 the players on site. At the start of round 6, 100 Thieves flashes for info at Fountain. Seeing nothing, they decide to go for a 3-man push, knowing they need to do something aggressive on their eco. The guard was holding passive, but then immediately shifts over towards the A side of the map and prepare for a hit. 100 Thieves pushes up aggressively, clears out sand, and pushes into market, but meanwhile, the guard has executed onto site, once again using the dog to clear front site. Bang uses a smoke and molly to delay the plant and isolate these players in short. There's now 4 players stuck in this tiny area while the flank push begins. While this gets a little bit dangerous for guard due to being in such tight positions, they eventually just win it out with their gun advantage. However, you can see how, because 100 Thieves maintained control of showers and bench with that smoke and molly, the round got a lot more dangerous and forced out a raise ult. Round 7 is yet another battle of defaults. This time, Trent uses an early dog to take control of shower and push Stellar off. Stellar and Bang are alone on A's site, and therefore have to play pretty conservatively, and they give up showers. Will sends a boombat down long, and unfortunately, Net doesn't shoot it for Saya player and it spots him out. From here, Saya starts pushing up along with Net, while Jonah P just holds towards sand. We're already down to 1 minute on the clock, so guard needs to start thinking about doing something soon. Saya sets up his TPs, but gets pushed off by the dog that Net breaks for him. After breaking the dog, Net immediately rotates off towards A site. The guard are making the bet that because they continue to show presence with a minute left on the round, 100 Thieves is still going to be worried about the B push. They've read this correctly, and they have the 3-2 split. Saya finds a pick on Derek who's jump spotting, but he immediately gets flash and goes for more instead of TPing out. The guard goes for their push and takes control of U. They Viper ult, but it immediately gets ulted by Bang, preventing any push in and any plant. There's only 20 seconds left, and Bang uses his molly on default to prevent the plant once again. With 15 seconds left, 100T ends up just spamming the smoke, preventing any plant, finding 2 kills, forcing Net to push out, and winning the round for them. 100 Thieves' early control of shower burned off some time from the clock, and their control of B long continued to waste time for the guard. While the guard's default was able to get a successful 4v2 on A site, Bang was saving his ult this entire time and was ready to use it to delay the plant. Because the 100 Thieves kept control of 2 crucial areas early on, they burned so much time that the Brim ult and Molly were enough to win the round for them. In addition, Net's Viper ult basically acted against them because it just allowed 100 Thieves to freely reposition and spam. In round 8, Derek walls Hookah to keep control of the area. They then fully focus on B long with 3 members. The guard is looking to take control again, using a dog to clear up close, while Saya pushes up with the op to prevent any peeks. The dog is used by the 100 Thieves as well as a flash and a slow, and it forces Saya to TP out. They regain control of B long, and Trent flashes to try to take it back. Jonah P has been waiting in sands and just holding for any swing from the top of the wall by Derek. However, the wall is soon going to break at a minute left in the round, and this is going to be the trigger for the guard's push. 100 Thieves re-smokes immediately after the wall breaks to threaten someone playing inside Hookah, and this does burn off some more time. Unfortunately, Will is playing an elbow, and after Asuna flashes and gets flashed off, he also falls back into elbow. From here, Valen ults elbow, forcing Asuna out into the open and killing Will outright, while Saya's op finds Derek back sight. From here, it's a 5v2, and 100 Thieves calls to save after finding a pick on the late lurk. One way in which 100 Thieves might have been able to continue fighting for B control is being aware of the ult from Brimstone and how dangerous it is to play elbow. If instead of falling to elbow here, after they re-cleared long and took control again, Will had gone into Hookah, they might have been able to make a play off of this smoke that replaced the wall. In round 9, we have another slow default at the start of the round. 100 Thieves is doubling up in showers and using Sage's wall to block off B long. They put out the Viper wall and flash to clear anyone playing outside, and keep on playing it while the Viper wall is up. They send a Boombat to line up with the wall going down. It gets broken and a flash comes out and they give up showers. Meanwhile, Saya player is exploring towards B long and has run into the Sage wall. He's holding for a swing on top of the wall, but can't really break it himself because he's an operator. Jonah P throws a Boombot in order to clear out Hookah. And in response to hearing the noise, Bang smokes and mollies it to prevent any push. The guard is unable to push through with the Boombot and has to clear outside the smoke. Meanwhile, they push up B long, but get stopped by a Sage slow. Bang is playing underneath Hookah in a position that he's able to get his first kill, but gets traded out. Derek swings out, but also gets killed, and Will has ulted out, finds one, and then rifles the second down. This leaves us in a 2v2 setup, where Stellar is in Hookah, having teleported from A site. Stellar starts a long flank, wrapping around B long, and Asuna holds in CT. Asuna knows that Stellar is going around towards B long and that he needs to wait for him. Meanwhile, the guard feels extremely stuck because they think that there's a player holding them from Hookah and a player in CT. Stellar has walked up B long at this point though, and he's cleared out Octagon. Seeing no one on site, he guesses that they have to be inside tube or back site, and he mollies out this backside position and it finds Jonah P for free. Asuna gets the dink on Saya player, and Saya isn't able to hit that flick, and because he has an op, has to commit to a single angle, and unfortunately does not guess Stellar's play. In the early round, the guard pressured Shower and forced the players out, forcing 100 Thieves to be worried about an A take. They then rotated over towards B long and slowly gained control. While they got delayed in Hookah by Bang's smoke and molly, they were able to gain long control and then swing out and kill Bang. Unfortunately, because the Hookah control came late, they weren't able to get out at the same time as their long players were pushing. This led to a 3-for-3 trade, and Stellar was able to TP and have the players surrounded on site. Stellar played this clutch extremely intelligently and basically knew that from the positions he saw, both Hookah and Long had to be clear, so the only places that the guard could be playing on site that were safe were back site and in tube. In round 10, Stellar once again ults towards B long. This time they have Derek walling hookah as well, and they've only committed 2 players towards the B site. They have a double up towards showers with one player playing bench and one player playing triple, while the guard is mostly exploring towards A with Jonah P on his own in sand trying to break Derek's wall. After breaking the wall, Bang re-smokes hookah to prevent any access. The guard has no intentions of going towards B, and Jonah P regroups with this team on A. Valen preps smokes, while Trent preps a pop flash. The guard has once again opted to not go for showers control and just pop through short. They prepare their hit, wait for the Viper wall to go down, and then drop their smokes, pop flash out, and get the initial trade. Asuna goes into showers, but Net is late lurking to try to sandwich him. Bang swings out and gets one, but gets traded immediately, and Valen finds Asuna as well. This leaves us in a 3v2, with Net having showers control, Valen on truck, and Saya Playa holding from short. 100 Thieves has this wall on short for the retake, which makes it quite difficult for the op to find value. Derek pushes up towards bench, reses Asuna, and looks to clear towards showers. Net has rotated off though, and he is just playing short with his lineups. Asuna finds the first, but both the Brim and Viper mollies come in, preventing any kind of defuse. Asuna pushes, finds the first, gets traded, and Stellar finds the second, but at this point, it's too late, and Derek just barely misses the defuse. Yet again, 100 Thieves failed to win the round that they used the Viper ult on B long. This time, the guard completely ignored it, and just 4-man popped through short after pressuring sand. This round also showcased an alternate way of dealing with showers. Instead of going for control early in the round, you just do your hit through short, and then send a late lurker that prevents anyone from playing comfortably inside of showers. Additionally, this round showcases how lineups are able to kind of circumvent map control loss. Because you have this hard stall from the Viper and Brim mollies, it doesn't matter as much if you give up all of sight, because the other team still can't defuse. Round 11 is an eco round for 100 Thieves, and they try to double up in hookah as well as double push showers. Unfortunately, the guard is successfully able to explore through B long and end up sandwiching the players in hookah. From here, they have a free B site, and 100 Thieves isn't really able to get anything done. Round 12 largely comes down to this ridiculous play where 100 Thieves double pushes up, where guard spots out Asuna with the dog and nades, but I think they missed Will and he's able to get this 3k because of it. With the drop spike, 100 Thieves ends up just setting up for it in this setup, and the guard is forced to swing into them. They don't coordinate their swings, which is a little strange to me, but it was a pretty unwinnable situation in the first place. A few thoughts while we're at halftime. The guard used slow defaults almost every single round of this half. This is very common on Bind, which is kind of the default heavy map, but there might have been space for guard to throw in some more fast rounds as a pace change. The rounds in which the guard were successful were largely the rounds in which they either controlled space or controlled information, and used this to create rotations that allowed them to find man advantage on the opposite side. Just like on Fracture, 100 Thieves continues to be very good at ult economy awareness. They shift their game plan round by round based on which ultimates are available on both teams. For the guard's pistol round, they try to go for a 3-man showers push. Net is anchoring towards U-Haul, while Saya Player is holding B long. 100 Thieves pistol round strat is pushing 3 up through short, while Derek and Stellar push up through fountain. The short players are unafraid to make noise, and they do seem aware that they could be getting wrapped from showers. They hit the TP, while Derek finds the first kill on Saya. Bang stays behind on the TP and catches 2 players who try to punish him. From here, we're in a 5v2 with full site control from 100 Thieves, leading to a pistol round win. The guard were gambling for an A hit, and with their quick flank, they were trying to take advantage of the lack of any trips from 100 Thieves. Unfortunately, their pistol round strat ended up colliding with 100 Thieves, and 100 Thieves was able to get the entry as well as clean up the rotations through teleporter. For the guards eco, they go for a 4-man shower push that gets completely shut down, and 100 Thieves ends up cleaning up flawlessly. In 100 Thieves bonus round, Stellar buys a Phantom, hoping to take advantage of Asana's ult that he had farmed from so many kills in the first 2 rounds. 100 Thieves use this really cool wall in order to isolate short angles for their Spectres, while Stellar is able to find Valen, hopping out of the smoke and finding Jonah P as well. From here, it's a 4v2 retake, which the guard end up deciding that they don't even have enough time to go for and save. 100 Thieves have consistently been able to find success on their bonus rounds because they usually have strats cooked up specifically for the weaker weaponry. In this round, they knew that Asana had farmed his ult because of huge kills in the first 2 rounds, and they immediately rush up long with Seekers. Stellar's wall makes it so that this whole part of sight can't see any players coming out of long, while the long players have short angles to play with their Spectres. This slow prevents anyone from pushing out of the elbow smoke, allowing Asana to clear close, and then Asana pushes through with Stellar spamming through the smoke and finding the first kill back sight on this slow, a raised nade being chucked back sight, and Stellar's molly in cubby. Basically, this makes it so that the only place that the other team could have played is inside the tube. They would have needed to hide in there, which could have gotten flashed by Asana, and then they additionally used the Sage wall right here to get the plant down, while Stellar is holding here. Stellar was able to find a 3k on the round just from the players that were funneled into this area by all the util dump. The guard is on an eco in round 16, and they go for a double push towards sand, along with smokes towards B long. Meanwhile, Jonah P has found an opening pick outside showers, but with Bang and Derek seeing the push towards sand, they assume that there's a stack on B, and they immediately rotate towards A. Bang catches Saya out, and Jonah P tries to get to top truck, but was too slow and got caught out. From here, it's a 4v3 retake, where Trent and Net have guns, but it's going to be extremely difficult. 100T retreat back towards shower. Derek finds the opening pick on short, and then pushes up towards U-Haul and actually sprays down the last 2 while completely blind. In round 17, 100 Thieves goes for an alternate lurk wall. It cuts through a site, and I believe this wall was first popularized by Gambit, or M3C. So Jonah P is playing on top of truck, while the wall goes up and a dog clears everything close. Knowing that 100 Thieves has control of this, the guards start freaking out and start pushing Jonah P up into pocket to deal with any potential lurk. This has held the 3 players towards A, while 100 Thieves has really been rotating towards B. The guard still has forward control in both hookah and long, but Net decides to fall off hookah. Trent dogs up long, and then ends up doubling up with Net, and they both go towards Octo. They both get flashed, Asuna gets the entry, and Trent gets found by Will blast packing out. 100 Thieves have been using a one-way smoke from Viper that lands on top of CT. The guard decides to just go for a save, knowing that they wouldn't have a buy if they lost this round. In round 18, guard force up with the weapons they saved from last round. 100 Thieves goes for a 4-man shower push with Stellar holding in market, while the guard pushes 3 members up short. Guard catch a timing where they're able to get past Stellar, but 100 Thieves has just walled outside showers, boombotted, and planted. The short push finds Bang, but on the way back towards site, Stellar's able to catch a timing and find Valen for free. Derek reses Bang, having pushed back outside showers, and Stellar gets caught from behind by Net. However, Net swings wide enough that he opens himself up to the trade from Will. From here, it's a 4v3 due to the res, and the Will ult immediately gets one, while Bang's ult prevents any attempt at a defuse. Because the plant came down so early in the round, Jonapi has absolutely no chance of winning this round anymore. Derek uses this lineup early in the round in order to slow behind showers. They combo this with a Trailblazer from Asuna in order to push any players out of showers and into the slow. In round 19, Net ults short while he uses a one-way on showers to secure A site. 100 Thieves is playing a passive default at the start of the round, not wanting to push through this shower smoke. 100 Thieves decides to contest the site with the Viper and push through both showers and short. Asuna uses his dog to clear out showers, sees nothing, and they get mollied off. At this point, Jonapi has rotated towards heaven, so they do still have a 3-stack on A. 100 Thieves has complete control over showers, and they move actually 4 players towards showers, knowing that it's going to be extremely difficult to push through the Viper ult. Both Net and Valen are playing in short, and Net was actually brought extremely low by util and spam early on. Net swings out of his ult and dies, while Valen finds one inside you, and unfortunately Jonapi misses his rocket over the wall. Trades come out for a 3v3. Derek finds one, gets traded out, so we're still in a 2v2. Trent and Stellar exchange util on U-Haul, while Saya player has pushed through showers. Asuna finds the first, and now Saya's left in a 2v1 where he hits a nice shot on Stellar jump peeking, but unfortunately he isn't able to win the 1v1 versus Asuna, and 100 Thieves close out the game.
No-scope is not good. One more shot. Can he even do it? But time is being played, and it's good enough for Asuna.
100 Thieves attacking half was a much quicker and more planned out style than Guard. Guard was largely defaulting, looking to take map control, whereas 100 Thieves have these set plays, particularly on their pistol and bonus rounds, that will catch your opponent off guard and look to accomplish one specific objective. 100 Thieves is also always looking to snowball the early rounds into both an economic and ult advantage, and use pocket strategies to kind of neutralize any deficit in weaponry. They also use coordinated aggression with lineups specifically built for purposes in the strat. If you managed to get here, thank you so much. This was an extremely long video where I just basically nerded out. And please, as always, leave comments below, subscribe and like, all the good stuff. And I'll see you soon.